What's up guys, it's the PG-13 here, back with another video. Today I'm going to be making a map for you guys, and I'm going to be walking you through my map making process and telling you what goes through my head when I create a map. Usually when I create a map, I try to think of as many brawler interactions as possible, and also try to think of how different groups of brawlers will work on the map. So without further ado, let's get started. So to start off, when I create a map, I usually make it outside of the game and then playtest it in the game. This time I decided to use Brawlcraft, but normally when I make a map, I use Pixel Crooks instead. If you want to use either one of these map making tools, the links to both will be in the description below. But anyways, to start on the map, I actually have a concept for once. I drew it up and we're gonna see if I can make this concept work. Starting in mid, like always, I start placing stuff until the basic concept of the map has been laid out. As you saw from my drawing, I wanted the side lanes to have two options for pushing up the map, the jump pad and the bush path. I ended up not having two jump pads on each side though, because I thought it would discourage the use of the bush path a little bit. So to help push players towards the bush path, I placed water in front of the jump pad and a structure on the left side that would also do that, plus give a bit of cover to people using the jump pad after they land. I also added cover around the water for the mid laner, but later trimmed it down a bit because I felt a choke point that small wasn't necessary right there. Now I'm adding the bush path and this map is really starting to come together. I decided to have the bush path extend past mid and into the spawn area a bit to really encourage aggressive play. I knew going into this, brawlers like Tara, Rosa, and Sandy were going to be super strong side laners, which is why I wanted to leave the mid and the mid lane pretty open. That way brawlers like Belle, Piper, or maybe even Jessie can still be pretty good picks on this map. Just like with any other map, one brawler class we gotta think about are throwers. Brawlers like Barley and Sprout can situate themselves in the areas that I've outlined and completely block off the side lanes by clogging the choke points, especially in Sprout's case. Of course, they can be counterpicked by one of the many wall breakers like Brock or Colt, as well as other throwers and assassins. You generally don't want to give throwers this much power, but in this case, I think it'll be too hard for throwers to maintain both lanes, at least without a little bit of help. Moving on to the spawn area, I start by adding more water. This water not only changes the path the left laner needs to take, but it also prevents brawlers using the jump pad from running straight into the enemy spawn. Later, I add walls near the water to provide a bit of cover for late game fights, but it also had the added bonus of creating a kind of window, so to speak, that allows sharpshooters to scout the landing spot of the jump pad. On the right side, I added another structure to influence pathing, of course, but also to provide some cover from the bush path. With this here, it prevents brawlers like Crow or Amber from bursting you down right after you spawn, and also gives brawlers like Sandy or Rico a chance to check the bush to some degree before pushing up. On the flip side, this structure also allows assassins to keep pressure in that area by providing solid cover for after they emerge from the grass. After that, I playtested the map and discovered that the jump pads in Brawlcraft show the distance as 11 tiles when it's actually 12. This is not a big problem though, so I just moved the jump pad back a tile. On the topic of jump pads though, while playtesting I noticed that other people really only use them as a getaway tool or to rush the enemy base. I expected the base race aspect, but I did not expect the escape tool part. Honestly, I like it. It helps brawlers that lack mobility and gives them an extra option when it comes to falling back. After playtesting, I went back and made all the changes I mentioned previously and also added a wall near the water in the right lane just to add a bit more cover over there. A little bit of decoration and a little bit more tweaking later and I'm done. So to recap, I wanted players to have multiple options when it came to pushing up my map. The use of bush paths and jump pads gives the right laner multiple options for pushing up the map and forces the left laner to play kind of defensive because of it. The mid laner has plenty of space to move around and help the side lanes if need be, and during the late game, teams have plenty of cover for defending themselves, but not too much to where the other team can't make a comeback. I strayed away from my original concept a little bit, but at the end of the day, I think the map is still pretty decent and plays close to how I wanted it to. And that's my process for making maps. Of course, I don't make graphics like this when I make a map, I visualize it in my head. Now this process isn't perfect, nor is it probably the best, but it works pretty effectively. Always thinking about how different brawlers interact and move around on your map will help you get an idea of what does and doesn't work. That's it for today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more mapmaker content, and comment down below if you want to see me make more maps. If you clicked on this video in hopes of improving your maps, check out this video right here. It'll probably help more than this one.